Was Donald Sutherland even in Backdraft? What's going on there?
Just me, or is it getting crazier out there?
Hey everybody, welcome to Late Horror Show.
Hey.
I am Dino, and this is...
Hi, I'm Aleece.
This is Aleece, and she's going to be co-hosting every Tuesday with me as we talk horror. And we got a good movie to talk about today. But hey everybody, hey Artemis, hey Bubba, Connie Clary, Edward Stewart, DJ... Mexicano de Texas, I'm thinking. RTN Productions, how you doing, buddy? Daphne Dumar story.
Yes.
Which we'll be talking. But yeah, what a fantastic movie. But hello, everybody in the chat. Welcome. What's going on there? Okay, anyways. It's dropping there a little bit. Infinity Stone, what's going on? JLR, Mark Miller. Anyways, what are we going to talk about today? Aleece, she's going to be here on Tuesdays, and we're also going to be doing a paranormal show on Thursdays. And we're going to start up this Thursday talking about Bigfoot. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday. Which is technically, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. We're going to talk to Ronald Murphy, who's a Bigfoot. He's a cryptid guy. He knows everything there is to know about cryptids. He's been doing it for many years. It's going to be a very cool show. So, Paranormal Into the Night, look forward to on Thursdays.
Yes,
right
excited
here.
for that.
Yeah, right. So, every Thursday you will get that. Kathy, hello. McDougal McStiffy, Vicky Alcorn, Jughead Grayson. Good to see everybody in here. Trotter Horse Watson Jr. just came in. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody... I'm going to try to come over here and look at the chat as we talk about this movie. But what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about... we were talking about this. This is a giallo film.
I think it really does fit into the giallo...
universe.
Yeah, the giallo universe, yeah.
Yeah, there are aspects of the film that makes it not a giallo, but I think this is a giallo right on that borderline there, you know what I mean?
Yes,
if the killer was more prevalent throughout the movie, I think this would have been a pure giallo film.
Yes, like if we had seen the murders happening from the killer's point of view, like throughout the story, not just kind of it surrounding the actual emotional story, definitely would have been. But
like mood, atmosphere, everything, even the murders, but you didn't get the classic, black gloves and the voice on the telephone, or that creepiness that you get in every giallo film out there.
Yes.
But it takes place in Italy, has that feel, and there is a very strange ending to this movie that gives you that. I mean, very, very strange.
Yes.
I tripped out, but I think there's a reason and I'm not going to keep talking. We'll let Aleece talk here a little bit here too, but you know me, I got to keep talking. I think this has become a habit from trivia nights. You guys got me talking nonstop, so it never ends, right? But anyways, a couple more people popping in. William Curie, awesome to talk about Sasquatch. Yeah, I can't wait, man. The ape. Denny Regrade, what is going on? Jay Myers, nice to see you in the chat. I'd Better Realize, great atmospheric movie, yes. And let's talk about that.
Yes.
Go ahead, I guess, take it away. You mentioned it was a little bit about, it was kind of a giallo, Alfred Hitchcock type, because there's supernatural, there's kind of murder mystery, kind of murders going on too, but
as far as like it being sort of an almost Hitchcock movie, because Nicholas Roeg, the director, I know he used a lot of Hitchcock as inspiration for the movie, which I think we can get like a couple of specific things like when we actually talk more about the plot and go through that. But yeah, like it's so. I mean, I think there are a lot of people who wouldn't even necessarily classify it as a horror film, like more of a thriller, suspense, which it kind of fits into all of those categories, which is something I really enjoy about it.
Yes. Yeah, drama, horror, mystery, suspense, slasher at the end.
Yeah.
Like, oops, I blew it. But no, I didn't really blow it. But it's you basically got Donald the Baxters, which let me start off and say Julie Christie. Beautiful, right?
Like I wrote in my notes, as I was watching the movie, like Julie Christie, mesmerizingly beautiful. Like the whole time, I'm just like, wow, she's so gorgeous. I mean, obviously, because I'd known her from primarily Dr. Zhivago.
Yes.
So, and this was a few years after that. But yeah, just like enchanting.
So beautiful. Yeah. No, she's got that look and allure about her. She's very enchanting, and it doesn't hurt that. And Donald Sutherland, who, I mean, come on, this guy in the 70s was just fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for so many movies. You got Clute. Somebody mentioned in the chat there. Clute, you got him in Invasion of Body Snatchers.
Of course.
Fantastic movie. But this, if you haven't seen it, surprisingly, one of those movies that I forgot about. You brung it up. And I'm like, okay. And after the rewatch, which I haven't seen it, and I don't even remember a lot of the movie.
Same. Like I was saying before the chat started.
Yeah.
I remembered the very beginning and the very end, and everything else was kind of blank.
Yeah.
So it was almost like seeing it for the first time.
Which is cool. Yeah. Because this movie plays like the book. Daphne du Maurier. She wrote the story, and of course nothing's exactly as the story is and is written on paper, but the movie plays out like a book. I mean, it's just, you sit there and there's no boring moments, even though it's very quiet, in lengthy parts of the movie.
Yes.
There's still stories. There's a story being told still.
Yeah, a lot of like long lingering takes, which is... like you said, it really makes it feel like a story come to life, but just really, in those lingering shots, it really like tells a story in the film language, which is lovely.
Right. And I think those lingering takes is because this is somewhat of a, Donald Sutherland's character, John Baxter, is kind of a empath, a psychic.
Yes.
But he doesn't... He's the guy. What did I write down here? Oh boy, he's gone his whole life, dealing with this kind of psychic ability, but he kind of denies it and doesn't really want to believe that he has some kind of gift. He doesn't believe in it, but there are scenes throughout the entire movie that allude to him with this gift that he's got. And it starts right off with the movie, the beginning of the movie, where the little girl, his daughter, you can talk about it a little bit. What kind of goes on there with the daughter, which is very cool, with the red dress. I mean, not the red dress, the red raincoat, which makes it totally stand out and is apparent in the entire rest of the movie.
Yes.
So.
And interesting, the director, he was the cinematographer on Mosque of the Red Death. So that color red, is kind of a recurring theme, with his visual style.
Right.
Which is kind of neat.
Oh, yeah.
But, immediately...
Christine is his daughter's name.
Yes, Christine. And they also have a son, Johnny, although he's not much in the movie.
Right.
He's not very focused on. But she's, outside playing with the ball, and there's, the pond.
Yes.
And...
Paul P. Christman, I'm sorry. How you doing, buddy? Go ahead.
And, John and Laura are just, they're inside doing their thing. He's comparing the photo slides of a church.
Yes, that he's going to be working on because he's an architect in Italy.
Yes. And the first instance of glass breaking was when Johnny on his bike, he rides over a plane of glass and that breaks.
Yeah.
And then, that starts really a motif of glass breaking being like an omen of danger or death throughout this film.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then he spills the water, or the glass. He has a glass of water, and it spills onto the photo.
Yes.
And it creates this
red-looking blood kind of image across the picture of. I think it's a person sitting with a red cloaked, coat, jacket, whatever, and which is the theme of the entire. You see this red cloaked individual in pictures through, and it's because everything reminds him of his daughter dying. It's about the entire movie's about grief, about a man that's getting to the point of what am I trying to say here? It's so complicated. the guy is it leads up to the death of Donald Sutherland, John Baxter, but that's not giving nothing away because there's so much more in between. It is a little bit of a complicated movie. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it, but
it's like a rumination on grief, and how grief divides people and it really hinders communication for some much more so than others.
CB, what's going on? I haven't seen you in here before. Says this girl's beautiful. You talking about Aleece? How about talking about the movie? But Beth Germanetti is here. Joseph Stanton Jr. I like to just get all you guys' names out there when you guys pop in the chat. Be sure to give a thumbs up and all that other good stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I know we're trying to dissect this movie, but it's basically, the death happens at the beginning, and then from there everything kind of goes from there.
Yes. One thing I was just thinking about with the kids playing outside, and so they live, they have a pretty big estate. I mean, there's a horse running around. Like,
nice.
This is a pretty well-off family. I'm like, I'm kind of surprised they wouldn't have like a nanny or somebody like minding the kids while they're, just doing their thing inside. I'm like, the movie wouldn't have happened if there had been a nanny. But I'm like, no, nanny, really?
No, I was saying the same thing. I'm like, yeah, especially with there being a pond there. I'm like, I don't think I would be letting my kid. They were young, but they seem to have free roam. Now, like even the kid, the son riding the bike through the the yard and back there. And it's just like, come on, that's not very safe. And you knew what was coming. She was skipping along this pond,
and then the ball goes into the water.
Yes, and to say too, it was a bright sunny day, and she's wearing a red raincoat, which most raincoats are yellow. Why red? But it's to bring out red is what? Red is danger. Blood. Kind of that. It has meaning in this movie. So.
Yes.
And then while they're playing out there, he's in there and he's looking at everything and he's getting these premonitions, psychic images as he's looking at, the pictures and just going through everything. And
he ignores them.
Yeah, because what's going on here? He doesn't believe what's going on, that he even has any psychic ability.
But then suddenly, it's the last one, Donald Sutherland just has this look like he knows something's up, and he rushes outside, and...
Oh my God, and it's an intense scene, too. Yeah, I mean, you get an image of her laying in the pond and
just kind of sinking below the surface.
Yes, and him booking out there as... Julie Christie's character, Laura Baxter, is sitting there still kind of,
has no idea.
Carefree and, just walking around. And even the son doesn't really say much of anything.
Yeah.
Just runs up. I mean, you think he'd freak out, run in and get his father and stuff like that. But, no, he comes running out, grabs his daughter out of there, and for a split second, because he pulls her to the, up on the dry land, and... gives her like kind of the CPR stuff and all that, and I thought she started coughing and got the water out of her lung. I'm like, oh, she's living.
Yeah, for there's a second where you think like, oh, maybe she's gonna be okay.
Yeah, but she wasn't. Nope. No. and then you kind of get this glance of them immediately in Italy, where he's working on a church in Italy, and architecturally he's rebuilding this thing, and from here it's basically the two characters kind of dealing with grief, the grief and loss of their daughter. And, how do we get past this?
And move on as a couple, as a family.
Yeah.
But there was the transition from that scene where they're at their house in England to in Venice. This, so he's, holding Christine, the daughter, and Julie Christie runs outside and she screams, and they do this really great audio match cut to it when they're in Italy and there's a drill or something being used. So her scream transitions into the sound of that drill or whatever it was when they're working on reconstructing the church. I'm like, oh, I love a good match cut.
Oh yeah. Everything about the film, I mean, the way they directed it, the scenes, the set pieces, everything about this movie was just fantastic. But
and very deliberate.
Yes.
Everything was carefully calculated and edited in a certain way to give a certain vibe.
Oh yeah, I mean this movie, like I said, there's not a second that goes by that doesn't keep you entranced with what's going on.
Yes.
Even during all the silence and everything, and even the streets of Italy there. I mean, what?
Well, one thing I noticed, maybe not quite immediately, but as it goes on, you don't see any, they're not in St. Mark's Square. You don't see any, touristy areas. Every time they're walking, it's always, there are torn up posters, cracks in the walls, you see rats. It's kind of, darker, a little bit dingier. It's not
Thanks,
look how
Schultze.
pretty Italy is.
Yeah.
It's very atmospheric, and they kept it away from it being this travelogue sort of movie with oh, look at all the sights.
The travelogue, yeah. Hey Schultze, thank you very much. Don't forget to tell folks the show they must wear Don't Look Now glass. Yeah, thank you, Schultze. I appreciate it. Telstar, appreciate you being here. Thanks as always, Ed, Connie. Mark Miller, is the background a flat painting, or are those real props behind you? These are all real props. These are all real. My toys, up here, they're all over the place. So yeah, everything's real. John McE, what is going on? Disco Booty, thank you for joining. I'm glad you got
Disco Booty.
You like
Love
that? Disco Booty fam. You just got into the Discord group, which is very cool. And let me get that out of the way, and then we'll continue on with the movie real quick, talking about the set in Italy and anything else. But if you want to join the channel and support us, the join button's there. It's up in the chat. It's in the description. I want to thank the members because I got to always do this, even though people complain, just get to what you got to get to. But, I mean, come on, you got to thank your supporters. So thank you guys all for joining on the channel. I appreciate it very much. And also the Patreon members, thank you guys all very much for being a part of the channel and supporting us and everything. So it means a lot. It really does. There's a lot I'm trying to do. So on the channel, especially the paranormal coming up, which I am very excited for. Just in case, hi fellas, sounds like the debate. You debate the movie Don't Look Now after Daphne du Maurier's novel. There's no debate going on, I don't think, unless you guys are in the chat. I hope Aleece stays for future episodes, says CB.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah, no, she'll be around, and we'll. This is our first show together, so we're trying to get it takes a little bit of time to get a vibe down, but I think we're doing fine.
I think we're doing okay, other than I just hate every moment of this now.
No, what? She hates every moment of it. No. But yeah, no, we were talking about the Italy itself, how desolate it was. And I think it's because it was such for the movie itself, they probably had to shoot in a certain area.
Right. I gotta imagine that had to be hard to shoot, over, in, the tunnel areas and over those bridges.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine.
But, it just takes you to, thinking about Italy and Venice and the canals of Venice and the boats and all that, because everything's like they're in the restaurant and something happens to Laura Baxter, Julie Christie. We might as well jump to here because it's kind of where things start to get wild a little bit here. But she's basically in there and she freaks. Well, this happens after. Let me get to what I was going to say. The ambulance even has a boat that comes up to the restaurant in Venice. Yeah, the canal. Yeah, and that was kind of pretty cool. I'm like going, man, everything is just right there in the water. And just all the old bricks and the stonework and stuff like that.
It's beautiful.
I love that stuff. I mean, I don't know if I would be so excited there because everything was so desolate and dreary. And even during the night, like when the night shots, when he's like at a bar and you see the little corridors and stuff like that, I'm like going, you don't know what's lurking around any of that. It reminds you of Victorian era England.
Yes, it did have like Jack the Ripper sort of atmosphere to it.
Where if you just go around the corner, it's so small and black and
no way
dark
to get out.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get killed or you're gonna make it. But anyways, okay, so we're at a restaurant and this is where everything kind of kicks off. And don't forget tonight, you guys, Fear on 4. I'm playing tonight for Old Time Radio. Well, it's not an Old Time Radio. It's a BBC radio drama. They're really cool horror stories. So look forward to that. These are some good stories. I listen to them. They're very, very cool. So listen to them. Dust Bunny, thank you for joining the channel. Welcome to Level 1 Support. I appreciate that very much. Means a lot. Teresa DiMaggio, what's going on? What was I saying?
They're
in a
restaurant. Yes.
Okay. Got confused there. But thanks, Dust Bunny. I appreciate it very much. But yeah, we're in the restaurant, and this is where they meet the two sisters.
Yes. I forget. It's Wendy and Heather.
Yes, Wendy and Heather.
Heather is
she's the blind one.
Yes, yeah. Heather's blind, and she is a medium. She's psychic.
Yes. The real deal.
Yes. So at one point, so Don Sutherland, he opens a window, and then the door opens, and like dust blows in, and it gets into Wendy's eyes.
Yeah.
So she and Heather go into the bathroom. Yeah. Julie Christie goes in, and they have some great shots of them like in the mirrors. Mirrors and reflection are a big thing throughout this film as well.
Another very giallo type shooting in this film, just totally 100%. But anyways, go ahead.
So she's helping the one sister, the not blind one, get stuff out of her eye. And then the psychic one starts telling her, "Oh, I can see your daughter. She was laughing. She's smiling. She's happy.
She was sitting between you and your husband."
Yes. Yeah. And so, of course, for Julie Christie, Laura, this affects her, but she's not upset about it, though.
Yeah. At first, there was just only a second of her going, "Oh my God, what?" And then let me think real quick. Christopher Carey joined the channel.
Chris! I know him.
Do you know him? Very cool. Well, welcome to Level 1 Support. Appreciate you joining the channel. And you know her, so, she'll be here every week. And Paranormal Show coming up too here. But anyways, thank you very much. Appreciate it, my friend. And she freaks out a little bit, but then she kind of says, "Hey, wait a second.
Yeah,
You're seeing
let's talk about this."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So she's almost automatically like, let's let me hear about this. I want to hear about my daughter. And did you really see her? Is she really happy? She's okay. And so then she comes out of the bathroom, and Donald Sutherland's like, "I sent your food back to keep it warm for you." What you been doing there for so long, babe?
Yeah, he's basically, and he's looking the whole time. He's looking, out, and I think he's even getting flashbacks there.
Yes.
Because the one blind lady even tells Julie Christie, you never know whether to call him the real actor's name or the Laura Baxter.
I just keep switching. I don't know.
Whatever. You guys know what we're talking about. But her character, as she's talking to the the psychic, the blind one, she's telling her that your husband is the one who the daughter's trying to connect to, because her daughter can sense and feel that he has that gift and that she can reach out to him and talk to him. But he's kind of got a wall up, so it's hard for to break through there. But yeah, totally 100%. Her character, Julie Christie's character, her loss. This is helping her with her loss. Just knowing that her daughter's there and the psychic sees her and is telling her that she's trying to reach out and stuff, which we'll get into. She's reaching out for a reason, but
yes,
yeah.
Now, when you were watching this, when the sisters are first introduced, did you suspect them of having like ulterior motives or being like maybe possibly evil, or what was your?
Love your channel. I will get to that in a second. Lua Prague. I don't know how to say that, but thank you. First time I've seen you in here, but what a name. Lua Prague, whatever. Gene Moran, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you here. Die, Die, My Darling is an excellent movie, yes. Well, we'll try to speed this discussion up a little bit, but we're trying to get through a lot of the little details that mean something, and then we'll go to questions and stuff in here too. I am seeing what you guys are putting. The Lost Boys, where's that come up at, Teresa? What's going on there? Hiker Pete, what is going on? But I get exactly what you're saying, Aleece, that throughout this whole movie, everybody seemed guilty of something. I mean, you've got the two sisters who, it looked like, and even at one point where you get the laughing, like one sister was laughing, not the blind one, but the other one, Wendy. She's just like burst. There's like a glimpse of her like just laughing when something's going on. You're going, this woman's evil.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with her, and she's trying to do some wrong. But again, kind of a shallow take. They're throwing some mystery in a certain way. If you know giallo films, it does a lot of that flashbacks and kind of tries to throw you off with the evil characters and stuff.
And Hitchcock would do that too, like a lot of like the red herring, or people going after the wrong person, thinking that they committed a crime or they're suspected of something seedy.
Heresy. No. Yeah, no. It's even there's a priest in here who.
The bishop, he seemed off to me too.
Yeah, and he was hardly in the movie either. But it's like, why? Again, a small character, but it's his church that is being repaired by Donald Sutherland's character. Yeah. But why are you acting so evil? And you're acting like you're the killer, because eventually there's some killer out there who is killing women and putting their bodies in the canals in the water, drowning. Another flashback which keeps, the poor Donald Sutherland. I mean,
keeps having these flashbacks.
Yes, and every time there's a murder takes place or something happens during the night, he constantly sees the red hooded person, we'll say, running through the corridors and the little back streets of there, and all of this. Is kind of taking you through the grief that he went through at the beginning with, the red hooded thing is his daughter who died. Are these supernatural premonitions that he's picking up on?
Yeah, or like, is it his daughter? I don't think he really. I don't know if he ever actually really believes it, but it's like, oh, are we going like, is this an actual ghost? Is this just a premonition?
I thought that. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that throughout parts of this movie. I'm like, well, he's seeing his daughter trying to either take him somewhere to show him something or what's going on, but that's not what's going on. But, you get that, and there's a point where he sees his wife after. Okay, so all of this keeps going on, okay? There's murders going on, and then they get a phone call from... I don't know if I'm jumping over some things. If I am, just let me know.
Well, there's the notorious scene.
Oh, yeah. How can we get... let's talk about this real quick, because this is what the movie is notoriously known for, even though there's so much more. And you know what? This part, it's the intimate scene in this movie. And it's a scene that it happens after the psychic speaks to Laura Baxter, the wife.
And after that, like, I mean, she has the moment where she collapses in the restaurant and tips the table. But then after that, it's like a weight has been lifted from her shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of, she knows that she genuinely believes that her daughter is there and is like happy in the afterlife, so she can kind of be the person she was before in a way. So this kind of allows her and just Donald Sutherland to like connect as a couple more, and they connect.
They do. And you know what? That was... I look at this as you could look at it and go, this is Last Tango in Paris. It's such a sexual, and it is. It's very heated, very sexual.
It's very domestic also. It's just, I buy them as a married couple. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
And especially beforehand when she's in the tub and he takes a shower and he's just like brushing his teeth naked, just hanging out. Like,
yeah.
All right. Like, this is what, comfortably married people do.
Yeah, you sit on the toilet when she's taking a shower or whatever's going on. But no, getting back to that scene though real quick, because like you said, the weight is lifted from her and it almost relaxes her to the point where he's just like, wow, something, helped her. And now she's showing a little bit of intimacy and some love. They're both laying there naked, and and I tell you, there was something about that scene that just, it brings the emotion of love out if you're watching it. You don't think of sex. You don't think of, at least I didn't. You don't think of sex. You don't think of all the dirty stuff that you think of two people actually, feeling something for, what the heck? The cat's darting into the door. What? Stop it. But I don't know if you felt the same way, but there was something very sweet and emotional about that.
I thought it was very touching.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Well,
but,
no pun intended, because touching.
Yeah, it was very touching. But then you get to, after all of that said and done, which the notorious scene of the movie, which, it plays, it really means a lot for the rest of the movie because it shows her being comforted from her grief, but he continues to deal with what's going on. He's just all messed up because he's dealt with this his whole life, the premonition, and then you put the grief of the daughter dying. He just doesn't believe anything that's being said. He doesn't, even maybe when that instance in the church happens, then I think maybe he thinks, hey, something's going on.
Yeah,
here,
but he's just trying, like, let's forget about it. Yeah. I think he even says to her at some point, like, we kind of came here to forget about it and put it behind us. Whereas, anybody who's dealt with a loss knows, you can move on in a way, but that stays with you. You can't ever forget about it. And he's trying to do that, and that's kind of his fatal flaw. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I missing something in the chat, you guys? Charlie Chan Fan 00 at gmail.com. You can reach me at. It is in the description. Everything's in the description down there. To get a hold of me in social media, you can get a hold of me on Twitter, Instagram. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, you guys. You guys are doing a lot of talking, which is very awesome. But we're trying to say the story, and I'm trying to look at the same time. So I think I'm missing something. I'm not sure who's asking a question, but nevertheless, if you email it to me, it's Teresa. Let me see if I can go back and find what you're saying. Dino, where did you get your stuff, buddy? Oh, is that what you need to know? Well, what stuff? What do you mean? All of this? It's just from growing up. This was from Spirit Halloween. This from years ago. I don't know where I got that, but yeah, everything is just stuff I've gotten for over the years. So, but I do appreciate it. I mean, I'm glad you're digging the set. I mean, the lighting and everything, I think is fantastic. How about I, pat myself on the back there a little bit?
You should.
Yeah. And now we can discuss a movie that's fantastic. But yeah, where are we at really in the movie right now?
Let's see. So there's the love scene. So then they go up to dinner, and he sees the not redheaded, the
red-hooded woman.
Red-hooded
or what?
figure.
Well, oops, sorry. I blew it. No, go ahead.
But yeah, they kind of get lost among like the tunnels and the bridges, and he sees the red-hooded person running around. They get briefly separated.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, we're at the point to where they get a call. Their son has had an accident.
Oh, are we?
Are we?
I think the seance happens.
Oh, does that happen first? Okay, well, talk about that a little bit.
Okay, this is kind of skipping a little bit ahead, but
yeah, that's all right. No.
So, Julie Christie is at the restoration site while he's working on like getting this gargoyle back up to where it's supposed to be, and she runs into the sisters again.
Yeah. Yes, Doc.
and they agree to basically to kind of do this seance. And so she goes to their hotel while Don Sutherland is across the way at a bar just getting himself like wasted.
Well, yeah, because he knows what's going on. I mean, she had to kind of convince him that, hey, they want to see you too and talk to you. And he is having none of it. So they're going to talk to her. But yeah, he's getting wasted, and he's looking at the door because it's like 50 feet away or something like that, to get into the building. And as the blind sister, it's like right when she's going into this like intense trance, he gets, that second sight feeling that something's going on. So he tries to go into the hotel to find his wife, and then, people coming out the hallway, and he's kind of mistaken for like this. What are you doing? Yeah, like this. Get out of here! What are you? You're not a good. No. There's a lot of that. Runs back out, like, okay, I'll just drink. Notice the one guy was in kind of a red robe too. Everything is, it's red. But anyways, go. Deep red. So basically, what Julie Christie relays to Donald Sutherland is that the spirit of Christine is trying to warn them, and Donald Sutherland in particular, that they're in danger and that they need to leave Venice. And get out of here now. Although that's more Austrian accent. I don't know what that came from. Yeah, I don't remember Arnold in this movie, but I know. That's my Austrian Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper. She's definitely warning him, and that's when everything starts to happen to him. Yes. And there's also a scene in the church where, we could jump to that, right? Basically there's a lot of, it starts to speed up a bit where you've got that happening in the church where he's, the priest, the bishop comes in. Is there a difference between bishop and priest? Yes. Bishop is kind of like... Oh, he's higher up. Yeah, he's like a higher up priest. He controls the priests. Yeah, he's... whatever. But yeah, he gets these little things that. What are those? They're the mosaics. Yeah, the mosaics. Yeah. So part of the church restoration is matching the mosaics themselves to the originals. What kind of work is that? Hard and tedious work. Painstaking to do. But so he gets up there, just these little blocks. Yeah. Whatever. But he's restoring and putting it up there, and so he's on this scaffold. Yeah. And kind of leaning over, comparing like the new pieces to the old, and now what is it? A piece of wood that comes through again the plate of glass. Yeah, falls from the ceiling. This like big what would you call it? Like a wooden beam. I think it was wood. Yeah, like a wooden beam, and it goes through the glass thing, smashing in, kind of hitting him, and then the scaffold kind of half of it. Basically, it's falling apart, and he grabs onto a rope, and what ensues is chaos, right?
Yes, they're trying to grab him.
Luigi and Mario's trying to run up the ropes. We save you in a minute. Here we come. And they're running up the ropes and stuff and just saying, we help you.
Actual dialogue.
Yeah, and meanwhile he's hanging there, and the bishop's down there just going, he's no help whatsoever. This guy should be out here. Dave Plouffe, hey, what's going on, my friend? Nice to see you. Lycanthropic moon lover. I don't know why I always have a hard time saying that, but hello, Chris Cullen, what's going on? Ordinary People, another fine movie. Okay, I do love reading the chat because they, kind of throw things out there. But yeah, I love when they're trying to save him up there on the scaffolding, and the one guy gets this big pipe and is pushing him.
Yeah,
to get him closer, trying to help,
swing him.
But I'm going, well, if you push him too hard, he's going to go flying and not be able to hold onto the rope either.
Well,
but
I
whatever.
guess with that stunt, it was supposed to be a stuntman doing it originally, but somehow I don't remember the whole story. But it ended up so Donald Sutherland did it himself, and whatever rigging he was using, after the fact, and stuntman was talking about that, he's like, yeah, that was the wrong kind. If you have twisted just the wrong way, you it was not made for this kind of stunt. You would have fallen.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so that could have ended really badly.
Jeez. Well, yeah, no, looking at it, I would think they had something underneath him in case he fell. But yeah, it wasn't safe. I push you and then you come here, I catch you, no? But anyways, so that kind of happened. And, kind of heightens his, being disturbed about everything going on and stuff like that.
But then I think it's, almost a relief because he thinks, oh, well, that was the danger that I was being warned about, and I'm fine. But then in the meantime they got a call from the boarding school where their son is at that he's been in a minor accident.
The whole time I was wondering, wait, where's his son?
That was one thing I was thinking during the love scene. Didn't we have another kid? Yeah. Who cares?
They put him in a boarding school because he didn't help anything when the daughter died, which I don't think that really happened, but I'm just saying. They had to go off and do their job in Italy.
Yeah,
but
and they lived in England, and I don't know, that's what you do in England when you have children, send them to boarding school.
Yeah. Or if they're evil and, you just can't take care of them anymore, and you're going, hey, send them off to boarding school.
Yeah.
We don't want to take care of this kid no more. He's a brat. Don't listen to a thing I say. He rides his bike and rides over glass all the time, and it's whatever. But yeah, no. And I like when they flash to the son laying there in the bed because the people on the phone are going, "Oh, he's fine. Then they show him, and he's got this big,
giant lump,
baseball-sized lump on his forehead, and sweat coming down. Did you notice the sweat?
Yeah.
I'm going, this kid isn't fine. And they said, no, he's fine. And they call in the morning again. And they said, oh, yeah, the concussion, which is what they were worried about, is fine. And he can go. He's out playing with the kids. And I'm going, what? After that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was very odd, very weird.
What kind of Mickey Mouse operation is this boarding school?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Julie Christie is okay, I'm getting my first flight back to England in the morning. And she goes off.
Hey, Quintus.
Hi, Quintus.
How you doing?
So she's
Good
gone.
Yeah.
But then after the whole shit show in the church where he almost died, he's on one of the boats, and he sees the sisters and Julie Christie all in black on what looks like a kind of a funeral boat.
Yeah.
And so he thinks something's up because she was supposed to be in England with their kid.
And it's him having premonitions. It's his psychic ability flashing to. I'm just going to say it. We're almost 45 minutes into it.
Has it been 45 minutes already?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it is a flashback to he's going to die. The whole movie is working up to his death. The daughter Christine trying to warn him about this. The flashbacks or
flash forwards.
The flash forwards, the premonitions. all of that stuff is leading up to his death. And there's much more to talk about, especially the way he dies. But yeah, he's like, he goes to the Italian police and says, the Polizio.
Yeah.
And says, hey, my wife's still here,
Yeah, so he thinks the sisters have, like, kidnapped her or something, and they're in, like, they left their hotel room.
Yeah.
So at this, we're as in the dark as Donald Sutherland is, and, like, he doesn't really understand Italian. He doesn't know what's going on. Actually, the guy who played the detective or the police chief, he did not speak English at all. So that whole time he had no idea what he was saying.
Oh yeah, Renato Scarpa.
Scarpa.
He was Inspector Longhi. I don't know. Longhi. I don't know how you say it. I don't know Italian. But anyways, whatever. It's a very small character, a very small role anyways in the film. But yeah, he seemed weird. And at a point I thought, you know what? He's the one going around killing these women.
Because he's acting so strange. And then he says, like, to the one detective, follow Donald Sutherland, like he's a suspect.
Oh, Quintus, thank you so much. $10 super chat.
Oh, thank
Here's
you.
a little love for you all. Thank you very much. I appreciate it as always, Quintus. Yeah, just sitting here talking about, and this is what the Tuesday movie discussions are about, even though it's Thursday, but they will be Tuesday. But this is what this is about. It's kind of an intimate chat about a movie. We're going to be a little bit more serious when we do the Paranormal Into the Night, the paranormal stuff on Thursday. But this is just a casual, like, what are you drinking? You drinking some...
Let's see. This is Great Lakes Tropicoastal. It's a tropical IPA.
Yeah, it's
quite good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Is it sweet?
Not really.
Not really sweet. No.
It's kind of a citrusy IPA. If you like India Pale Ales, it's not for everybody. A lot of people don't like the hoppiness of it.
Maybe bring a new beer every week when we do this.
Oh, I can do that.
And you could let us know the new brand or what you like about it. You'll kind of get a beer review too.
All right. Yeah. Tropicoastal by Great Lakes.
Yeah. There you go. And I've got. Purified drinking water, from Walmart. It's the cheapest thing there, so I'm going to have to get something fancy. I don't know. I'll get some fancy wine. Morgrim, nice to see you in the chat. But yeah, so where were we at? I'm kind of lost now.
Let's see. So
it happens a lot.
Donald Sutherland, he goes to police station and he files a police report on the sisters because he thinks that they're up to something no good.
Right.
They have something nefarious happening.
Yeah, and we're getting to the climax, the part 3. What is that called? Third act of the movie. Oh my God.
We're almost there, but it still feels like there's still so much more. This movie, you guys, there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it, you have to give. This is very quickly propelled its way up to maybe top 3 Donald Sutherland movies. So I mean, I love this movie. It's fantastic. Quintus, member for 5 months, level 3 support. Thank you so much, as always. You're very welcome. Hope everyone is well and enjoying your last few days of summer and fall. We're enjoying it. It's been fantastic. This is a new feature that YouTube has done where they kind of it's kind of a perk when you join the channel too. They let you know how long you've been a member of the channel, and it's. Connie's been there from the very beginning, but thank you all. Yeah, I appreciate it. This is a very awesome community, Aleece. Very lovely people that are on this channel and in this chat all the time. Much love to you all.
I'm so glad I get to hang out with all of you guys.
Yeah. And she'll try her best to, look at comments in the video. Please leave comments after the stream's done. I think you go by a different name though. Yeah,
just my YouTube is MST3 Khaleesi.
So there you go. If you
when
see
Game of Thrones used to be good, I did Mr. Science Theater combined with Less said about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Hey, that might be a show because oh my God, I loved it, but then we know what happened. They do it to everything. Like there's Ray Donovan. I love that show.
I never got into that one too much, but
I love Ray Donovan. And
Dexter, they did that too.
Yeah, and they're coming back,
which actually looks cool.
Yes, and I can't wait for Dexter to come back. I'm very excited. Telstar, welcome to Level 1 support. Thank you very much. It's 3. We got 3 new members today. Awesome. I really appreciate it. This is awesome. But yeah, Ray Donovan did it, but they ended it. They just stopped. And now they have to come back and tie up loose ends and stuff with a movie.
Oh boy!
And I hate that. It pisses me off so much.
Isn't that what Walking Dead's going to be doing?
Yeah, no, they are going to do it. They get to a point where the bigwigs say, "We've had enough. We're going to end the show." But they don't think about. I mean, what is wrong with just coming up with an extra? Like another last season to tie everything up.
Yeah.
Why just say at the end of one season we're just stopping this?
I mean,
it's nuts.
I would not mind a community, # 6 seasons and a movie. Be welcoming for that, but
right.
That's one of the exceptions.
No, I hear you. But anyways, getting back to the movie, and winding this up here a little bit. So the wife is coming back from the trip. And he gets a hold of her on the phone, and they know that he knows that his wife is there. So she isn't really in Italy anymore. Jerry B. Got the Wookiee there. Jerry B. You know who that is?
That's my uncle.
Oh, thank you, Jerry B. $10 super chat. I appreciate it so much. And I do love that Chewbacca is his profile. That is fantastic. So that is just awesome. Thank you very much, Jerry B. So, yes, he knows his wife is back home. So he goes back to the police and he sees the sister there. They're being interrogated.
Yeah, the blind one, she's still there. He's like, I'm sorry, misunderstanding. Let me walk you back to your hotel.
Right. Yeah.
And it's actually kind of sweet.
Yeah. But it starts off the climax of the movie where all this stuff ensues because as he's walking, which one was it? Heather, the blind one, back to her hotel, which I don't know why they switched hotels. Maybe it was too much money at the other one.
Yeah, they switched hotels at some point, but it was just.
I think it had to do with toiletries. They weren't really replenishing them.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and the sisters, especially the blind one, she's like, the toilet paper. Yeah, she was pissed. So anyways, they change hotels. So he's walking her back. Where's the other sister?
She was...
she was being interrogated.
And then I think she had left and they were just waiting for her. But at this point, then Julie Christie gets back to Venice. She's taking the police station thinking that he's still there.
Yeah.
He'd already... And this whole part breaks my heart because she's always just like... one step too late, one step behind him.
Yeah, the wife, you mean?
Yes,
the
so close to catching up with him.
Right. Because this is kind of where the climax of the movie starts. Everything starts kind of winding up and winding down. But she's chasing the husband. The husband's doing his thing, but then when he leaves the apartment from the psychic's apartment. Both sisters are there, and she goes into some fit, like she's having a seizure or something.
Yes,
like that.
And he's just like, okay, I'll just leave you guys, bye.
Yeah, but she's like, bring him back, because she knows something's going to happen. Man, if only he heard her say that, and he did come back, and he believed, but he was a man who did not believe in his gift, and so be it. So the demise of Mr. Baxter. But there's a chase that ensues,
And because he sees the red hooded figure, and he starts calling out to it. And
can I say how creepy that figure is when it's running through?
Yes.
Can you imagine being in a dark alley and you see this? Because it's running like kind of...
like 4 foot tall, just like
Yeah, it's wobbling a bit, like something out of The Hobbit or something like that. You know, it's just really weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, he's chasing. He sees this, and this time he's going to chase it down.
Yes.
He's like, "You're not getting away from me this time." Christopher Carey, how you doing, my friend? Nice to see you in the chat. But yeah, he's going to chase this red hooded person down. Oh my God, the ending is so creepy. But anyway,
we're getting there.
yeah. So he's running, and the wife's running after him, runs to the psychic's apartment, right?
Yep.
And she doesn't go in, though, right?
No.
Trying to remember.
They do bring her in for a second, and then basically, just to reiterate, bring him back. And so she goes running after John.
Yeah.
And somehow, like, even though she starts to go in the wrong direction and then goes in the direction that he went, it's almost like somehow she knows which way.
Oh, well, yeah, that had me questioning. I'm like, that was a little weird. But it's like she was following him exactly which way.
Yeah.
In movies, when they do that, I'm like, how do you know if that person went left or right?
Right. I think it is. I think it is kind of intimating that maybe, like, she doesn't have the second sight in the way that John or the blind sister does, but she has, like, that. She has some intuition. And
who does?
I think Julie Christie, that
you think
she kind of starts to go the wrong way.
Yeah, okay.
And also she's somehow like crossing and like running across the parked boats.
Yeah.
Like, how would she know? And I think maybe
that's the part that I said.
Yeah,
he went that exact same way. How are you doing that?
I think intuition, something. I don't know.
It says member for 9 months, level 1 support. I don't know who that is. It doesn't say the name, but thank you. Anyways,
thank you.
Appreciate you all. But she's following him exactly. And then they get to a point to where he follows that red hooded person in this. Wherever it is, some stone building or whatever, and it's got gates, metal gate where you can lock it from the inside.
Yep, and he locks the gates
so that she's not going to be able to get in there to follow him. But
yeah, and they're running through this building,
and this seemed supernatural, didn't it?
With the mist, it almost seemed like the mist was almost sentient in a way. I don't know if that was just me or just the way that it moved around there.
It certainly didn't seem natural.
Yes.
It shouldn't have been there. What was that doing there? It wasn't foggy out, wasn't raining. There's no reason for this to be in that, whatever.
Oh,
that
but
room.
doesn't make it creepy.
It makes it creepy in the way he's walking through it and, making a path to where this red-headed, or I keep saying red-headed, red hooded person is. And I love when, so he looks up and he sees the face kind of real quick, the hood at least, through this grate kind of thing. It's really odd. Like I said, the visuals in the film is just fantastic and puts you in a mood. It's got atmosphere. It's everything about this is just fantastic. I love it. Thank you. Anyways, so he follows up there, and I love when they get in the room. What was the first thing that popped into your mind when he entered the room and saw the red hooded person? What movie came to your mind real quick?
Let's see.
She's turned into the corner, staring at the wall. Reminded you of...
Are you thinking Blair Witch?
Yeah, it looked like...
I didn't think of that at the time, but
just
now...
Because she's standing,
she's kind in the corner,
Yeah, and I'm like,
okay.
For some reason it reminded me of Blair Witch.
I didn't think of that, but I see that now.
Because it's just...
And she's crying, or seems like she's crying.
Yes.
And he's like, let me help you, it's okay, because he thinks there is some, this is
Get into very good detail if you're going to talk about when she turns around.
Oh boy!
Unless you want me,
you want to tag team?
Yeah, no. Okay, so this is the climax. Okay, this is what the whole movie led up to. Okay, this person who has been killing women by drowning. Okay, in the city. Well, did we say the city? It's been this little area of town that we've seen. But anyways. she turns around. Immediately, you get creeped out because it's some very old,
creepy,
wrinkly, witchy-looking woman. And you go...
Very small.
Yes, very small, very old, very... Just... I can't even explain how weird it looked. It's like you weren't expecting an old woman to turn around,
yes.
and she's still been the one killing all these women.
It comes out of left field completely, but it still works. But then,
it works.
And he's just like, no, like he's.
Well, he's like, what is this? What? Yeah, I don't
she's
understand.
just like, shakes her head
because he's been,
and then she has this like, it's like
he looks down at her pocket. She pulls it up.
And it's a
meat cleaver.
Yeah, meat cleaver.
Yeah.
And just shoop.
Butcher knife,
Right.
And the special effects, it's like shows it. That was so, it's just like boom, right there. And you see it was, I'm not going to say real gory at that point because you didn't see the blood, but it's disturbing.
It is that very red blood, like almost like
but I mean,
Hammer horror-y kind of red.
Yes, Hammer horror
blood type.
Goriness. Yeah, but I could see the wax, like how the special effects, like how they put it in there, and you could tell they waxed it up, but still very disturbing. But the dude gets it right in the neck.
And he's like
falls down.
It takes him a minute to die. Like he's groaning, you see that he realizes that seeing his wife on that boat with the sisters.
Yeah,
it was a premonition of his funeral, and it's kind of like his life flashing before his eyes, and just these quick little segmented moments, and
you get from the whole storyline too. It kind of bookends with. His daughter, a very young girl with a red raincoat, at the beginning of the movie. All of this going on throughout the entire movie, ending with his death with a
red-hooded version of his daughter. Almost.
Yes, old.
Yes.
So almost as if his daughter sped up. Not that his daughter is a killer. It's metaphorical, okay?
Yeah, the movie deals with the doubles and doppelgangers a lot too,
yes.
And that being like the most prevalent one. But
very good point. Yeah, and totally 100% right there. And it's just with his death right there, and you see the blood coming off, dripping from top. The angles. You got to see it to understand how great the visuals are and all that, but and then basically, that's it. I mean, the movie ends with them,
just the funeral, and Julie Christie is almost smiling.
Yeah,
and I think it's because she truly believes and knows that there is, like an afterlife, and that why would she? I mean, she could be sad for herself and for her son that they have to go on without them, but she knows that they're together and that they'll see them again.
Yes,
so there's no, for her now it's like this. There's this acceptance, and there's no real reason to be sad. Like we'll see them, we'll see them again at some point. It's
I think you're right on there. I think. Knowing that there's an afterlife, even though he's dead and she won't be able to spend the rest of her life with him or her daughter, she at least knows, okay, I can carry on now. We got a son, it is what it is. But I mean, it just, who would have known? I mean, out of left field that he's going to die.
Like that.
Like that, yeah. And it's this murderer who looks like his daughter, and you're throwing all these supernatural things. You think he's psychic, he's thinking these things, and I just can't get over her as the murderer. But that's the giallo part of it too. Like if she, in a lot of the films, you get creepy characters like that are the killers. Of course, in different ways. There's always the black glove. You always hear the voice of the killer in the giallo films, but. To have it like this in this film, and just at the end, that's why it's not a full-blown giallo film, but very, much in the style, in the same vein as that, you know.
Yes.
But, and like you said, very Hitchcockian too, with certain elements of the film. But man, a very unique film.
Yes, although I did. I watched this. I watched this with my husband last night, and we both, at the very end, like I think the credits had already started, but when they're, going into the church for the funeral,
Yeah.
we both had to laugh a little bit because
Uh-oh.
Julie Christie and the not blind sister get off the boat, and then the blind one gets off the boat, and there's a couple of stairs, and she's just like struggling to go up the stairs by herself, and then the other sister runs back. I'm like, they forgot the blind lady.
Oh no!
You guys, why?
Why did I not pick up on that? Oh, that's terrible.
I don't think it was. I don't know if it was intentional or maybe
It's just the end of the movie, and they got the scene. Well, sometimes they shoot those scenes at the beginning of the movie. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, how odd.
I don't. I don't know. Or maybe there was
Hey, your
something deeper
sister's
behind
blind.
it, but
Yeah. No.
they're like, it's like, oh crap, we gotta go get her.
Jeez. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, no, there you go. I mean, if you haven't seen it, definitely watch this, the movie. LOL Dino. Basically, that is it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I just don't want to miss nothing in the chat, although I probably missed a million things. Thanks for the review, says Schulte. Appreciate it. Yeah, more of a discussion than a review, but a review discussion, same difference. Vlog. People call it all different kinds of things, but do you think it's bad to use a spirit box? It could be dangerous. Oh, here we go. We got some we can, now that the movie's over, and out of 10, what would you give the movie? I mean, I would give this probably a solid 8.9. Well, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I love it that much.
9 out of 10. I would say an 8.5.
Okay, so pretty close, but
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, highly recommended. Go watch this film if you haven't seen it. And it does, if you're a Giallo fan, watch it. If you're just mystery suspense, watch it. If you're a 1970s whatever fan, you're a Julie Christie fan, I mean, come on.
Yeah, if you're a Julie Christie fan, you're gonna like this.
You're going to like this movie a lot. But anyways, I mean, very well done. But anyways, Spirit Box. Let's get to Teresa DiMaggio. We will be able to get into a lot of this stuff definitely on the Paranormal Show with guests. So that is what's going to be really cool about this. It's going to be a little podcast style format, but you'll still see video of all of us just the same way, unless the guest can't appear on video. But I think this coming guest, he will. He does plenty of interviews, and it's going to be really good to talk Bigfoot and stuff like that. Even some haunting. He gives some haunted tours and stuff like that too, which would be very cool to talk about. But the Spirit Box. A lot of people talk about Ouija boards and spirit boxes is not a good thing. You shouldn't be messing with it. I think it's a bunch of bunk, but to a degree, if you're doing things the wrong way, if you're the wrong type of person, you can accidentally, I think, bring in spirits. They can attach themselves to you, your surroundings. People talk, and we'll get deep into this kind of discussion on the paranormal shows, but, there are portals to, you would call them portals, but places where spirits can easily come from one.
Where the veil's thin.
The veil's thin. From, a door opens for them to enter this. Not exactly this, because they're on a different plane of existence altogether, even when they're here. But it's hard and complicated. But it depends who's doing it, how you do it. But I don't think there's, even a Ouija board. People say it's evil, don't do it. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Do you have thoughts on that? I mean,
because I've played around with a Ouija board before, like more so, yeah. And I think maybe because I don't even know if I necessarily believe in all of that stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but I do think intent definitely, like, that could have a real factor in it.
Yeah.
And
if you're evil to the core and you're doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing on it,
right?
Okay, then. But the average person who is like just having fun with the Ouija board, I don't think you're going to have anything happen.
I mean, like
but anything's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I've done Candyman in the mirror, and I was really Tony Todd did not show up, and I am still devastated.
I've been saying Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary since I was a kid, and nobody's ever appeared in the mirror behind me either. But
well, maybe if I start doing Tony Todd in the mirror,
maybe he might. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna try this when I go home.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, turn off all the lights.
Turn off all the lights. Though I want to see him. That's the whole point.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, I mean, I guess
it's Tony Todd.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Are you excited about the new Candyman movie?
I actually saw it.
Oh, you did see
it.
Okay. And very quick. You don't have to go in deep about it, but what were your thoughts about it?
I did enjoy it. There was a lot of great acting.
Dave the Rave! Sorry, I'll do that every now and then when somebody comes in. So
I think it's definitely worth seeing the new Candyman. It takes I could talk about it. Like that could be its own thing. Still definitely prefer the original because Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen. Just that movie's just so. That's one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah,
and it's also just it's kind of romantic and like gothic sexiness, it's like kind of Phantom of the Opera, Dracula-esque, which I love. Mm-hmm. The new movie doesn't have that same sexiness to it, which is
see, I haven't seen it yet, so
But it's definitely it's good. Nia DaCosta has some great direction, and I liked it.
Cool. RTN sounds like good stuff coming up. Loved your and Aleece's discussion. Thank you very much, RTN.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation here with me and Aleece, and look forward to plenty more coming. Well, like Stephen King said in Danse Macabre, it may not mean anything, but why take a chance? Says Kellen Winslow. If you have any hesitancy, like if you're even asking the question, like you're doing right now in the chat, then do not mess with that kind of stuff. That's my advice. If you have any qualms about thinking, oh my God, something might happen, do not do it, Because again, if you believe in it, I have been in this paranormal show that we're going to be doing, Paranormal Into the Night. There's a Facebook group, Paranormal Into the Night. Go check it out. It's been working and it's so active. It's a place where so many people, thank you, Nisa, for always moderating that group and making it what it is right now. But because paranormal, I was deep in the paranormal podcasting world about 6 years ago, okay? And really was hitting some good guests. I mean, I can't wait to talk about some of them and even bring it up. Deep down, I'm a skeptic.
I'm the same way.
Even though I've had some weird paranormal things happen to me in real life, some that I would say, why am I skeptical? Because there's no explanation for this other than there being... But then there are other things that, like my whole life, I loved my grandmother. I was over there every weekend growing up, sat next to her, everything. She was the woman for me. I loved my grandmother. And never in my life did she enter a dream or do anything like that. You know what I'm saying? A week after she passed away, she was sitting in the couch. Right? And again, I'll talk about this real quick afterwards, but she was sitting on the couch. I was right next to her. She tells me, she goes, Dino, there's nothing to worry about anymore. I am fantastic. I'm here with your grandfather, who I love my grandfather.
Oh
wow. My God. And she goes, nothing to worry about, and we will eventually see you again. And that's the part that gets to me. And I'll say that in a second. But that hit me so hard, and that was the first and the only time I've ever dreamt of my grandmother. And it felt like she reached out to me. There's a certain feeling when you get that kind of dream, which is different than any dream you ever have.
I know exactly what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, there is that. But then the skeptical side of me comes out and says, well, that's my mind thinking that because I miss her, I love her, and I still want to see her. So,
and one of the things that the character Steven says in the Haunting of Hill House series, a ghost is a wish. And, I want to see them again. I want to know that they're okay. I want to know that there's something else. So it's like, the battling, heart versus mind.
Yes. No. And the fact that I still have problems with the fact of I'll see you again. Like, what does that mean? Because you've got people who talk about, being reborn again or given the option of having another life.
Yes.
You can go as far and as deep into, well, let's just say that. If that happens, how can you possibly see that person if they choose to become a baby again down on planet Earth or wherever, because supposedly there are many different worlds, which how can you look up in the sky and not believe that, right? I mean, unless you're, we won't get into the religious side of that, but you look up there, there's other worlds, other beings. Say you're given because nothing ever dies. We're all energy, right? Even when you die, your energy gets released somewhere. But then you get into the soul, the spirit. Does your memory follow along with that?
Right.
Like, is my grandma really up there waiting? Or doing her thing.
Is this does she still have that conscious memory?
Yes.
What does that become?
Or is there no time and space there, and at any given time? But see, that kind of throws a wrench into things when if you do choose to be reborn into some other life, okay, then how can you be there? You know what I mean? Even energy, even if your energy was there, is there a piece of that energy that still stays there, that's up there somewhere in the realm or in a different dimension or something that will reach out to you no matter, even if they're down there living a different life or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so complicated, people.
Yeah, there's so much to discuss,
yes.
Just webs and...
Ghost Dancer, what's going on? Yeah, no, it's so complicated, and that's what we're going to dive into. We're going to get people's opinions. A lot of people's opinions will be on fact. Some will be on mere hearsay, on stories given by other people where you have to believe what they say. Sometimes they back up their stories with good evidence, I mean, the whole life after death thing, people dying on the operating table. I mean, there's stories of people who died for 20 minutes on the operating table, and they heard every single thing that the surgeon was doing.
Right.
And they confirmed it with the surgeon after. And
yeah, that's something I want to read more into. I find that very interesting.
There was one case of the woman that floated, the typical, you float out of your body, and she was going up through the ceiling. And as she was doing that, she caught, the big globe lights that are in the surgery rooms and stuff like that. They're like metal things. And she saw this serial number. It was just like S593.
Like up in the bulb or on the...
Well, on the top of the... Like, if this is a ceiling, you can only see it if you're looking through the floor.
Right.
So she said she saw that as she's going up, on top of hearing what the surgeon was saying. So when she confirms this, because people were saying, and I forget which book this was. It was so long ago that I was talking about this story and interviewed somebody about it. That how could she possibly read that and you can confirm that? There's stories like that where you go, how can you can't not deny that? I mean, so there's so many things there's so many stories like that, more than you would think out there, and it's amazing, and it takes the skeptical side of me, and which is still there. It's like you almost need to have a ghost come right up to me and say, "Listen here, Dino, I'm a ghost. Go ahead, put your hand through me. You can't film me, can you? To convince me,
Yeah, that's how I am too. And I was like, if ghosts like do exist, I want to see one. Like actually, like have a paranormal experience.
Oh yeah.
But in almost 34 years, that still hasn't happened yet. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll be talking a lot. I'm excited about the Paranormal Show. But again, I guess we'll end this show here. It was great to have Aleece here for the first show.
Thank you.
Great movie for sure. Expect more next week with the Paranormal Show, 8 p.m. on Thursday. We'll be doing another movie review on Tuesday at 8. And tonight, in about 40 minutes, I will see you guys in the chat for Fear on 4, BBC horror, classic stuff, man. Get excited, man. This is some good stuff. But there's always good stuff every night. Different stuff to listen to and all that good stuff. So with that said, thank you to all the new members who joined up. Thank you to the people who super chatted. Jerry, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and they're all saying thank you, Aleece.
I'm very happy to be here and so excited. You guys have no idea.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm sure you do, but
yeah, you'll get to see how awesome these people are on this channel and stuff. Thank you, Dino and Aleece. Thank you both. Great show. Yep, all thanks across the board. So we will see you. We will see you next Tuesday. I will see you soon, and I will also see you this week for a trivia night, which will be the Halloween franchise. I figure we're getting close to Halloween, so why not do the Halloween franchise? But we'll be doing horror stuff every week. But this will be another fun one. It's always fun for trivia night. And yes, you will see more of Aleece unless she just says, I'm out of here. You will see more of her. So appreciate it. And